My name is Ness, and I'm happy to have the opportunity to share in this conference about something that is so important to me. English is not my native language, but I will do my best despite my nerves, okay? Well, to start, I would like to clarify that it's very difficult to know where shamanic practices are heading to. I can only give my personal opinion from experience and from my particular vision of what is to live a life in connection with what we know as shamanic practices. In my opinion, the word shaman itself has become a kind of an exotic trinket that some people might wish to wear. As we know, the origin of the word is in Siberia, and it seems to be that some are using it globally to put different animistic practices and traditions into the same bag. For years, Siberia seemed to me a very distant place, and it turns out that some of my ancestors came to Iberia from the Altai and from the steppes of Central Asia. That was a big surprise, and like other connections on different continents, but the reality is that in one way or another, we are all interconnected. We can still find different traditions that somehow still survive in some parts of the world, despite acculturation, despite the commercialization of the term, and also some of the practices. Because to be able to find authenticity, we have to look much more deeper than 300 years ago. Because sadly, the ambition of modern men exterminated too many traditions that somehow preserve basis of primitive animism in the practices and cosmologies, and modern men also acculturated others in the name of progress, religion, and in the name of money, which has contaminated many people, even natives that know that Westerns travel the world and pay to be teach or work with a shaman. Ultimately, you're going to find what you pay for. And if you think that everybody who prepares ayahuasca in the jungle is a shaman, you might be surprised. But that spiritual hunger of Westerners have, also creates shamans. And such is the power of the checkbook. The concept of the shaman has been totally degraded. For example, anyone can go to a school to learn shamanism now and get a title that says you are a shaman. I have seen announced and week-long retreats where you are trained as the medicine woman and then given a title that says that you are a medicine woman, but someone that actually came from South America to enlighten Europeans and share, long-awaited spirituality. But as I say, not everything that comes from native hands is medicine. People forget that there are medicine people and there are brujos. But this difference is not appreciated until under the term of shaman. The globalization of the term is what is taking people away from what the true meaning is to be, what is to be a medicine person, or what is the real meaning of shamanism. as it saw as candy floss on social media, as mere coaching sessions or some kind of personal growth course. Or some people even talk about enlightenment as if shamanism was actually part of the new era, of the new age. But of course, cross-cultural shamanism is part of the new age. I feel that the way shamanism is being taught now, the way people learn shamanism, is actually treating shamanism as something innocuous and soulless. It's lacking the genuine connection with the spirits, and that is totally new age. Because when you approach shamanism from an anthropological point of view, you do it as an Occidental doctor to a patient. That's what I think. But it happened, and cross-cultural shamanism entered our lives. It came from an academic and analytical point of view to try to read, decipher the basis of different tribal practices, shamanic practices, and they were able to apply them and bring them to the Western world, opening them to the wider public. But in doing so, this autopsy of the practices, in my opinion, somehow eliminated the intuitive part of it. I have met people who came from different shamanic schools and who even after years of practicing in the shamanic world still enter the realms with fear, and who even after many years they absolutely followed the same line of work that they learned like 20 years ago, and they were actually uncomfortable changing the practice or opening the work to the intervention of spirits, and that's the reality. But I also met a few that actually there to change the way they were told. I also have to say that my work in the shamanic world has spread enormously thanks to the spirits, and I have allowed myself to be guided by them, and it continues to expand with each practice, which each individual or group that requires something different, because they so to speak open new places and new ways of getting healing for the person who needs it. But this happens because there is a total redemption to work with the spirits. Even the way of working with others has changed, and they push me to actively include people in their healing processes, guiding them to live the experience from themselves, because it is important that someone take a leading role in their personal healing processes, because when they do take this role, it is much more empowering. It is sometimes hard, but the healing is more is stronger, is more direct, fast, because they received the information, they live the experience, they heal. And even if you're supporting and doing your work along with them, holding them, making sure they're okay, and also you're doing your own journey, it's them who need the power of the experience. You know, sometimes it's hard, as I say, but the spirits are also holding them during the whole experience. When as a shaman, you do not give the person the opportunity to live the experience. You are actually taken away from them in some way, because when you do all the work alone without the active participation of the person who needs to heal, yes, you gain experience, strength, power, etc. But it's not you who has to get strong from the experiences of others, because also when you are the only protagonist, okay, it is very easy to fall into something and believe that you are a superhero, and that happens a lot when you share the experience. Of course, you can always learn, but the experience will kind of enrich whoever needs it most. And in this case, for me, it's always the person that is seeking healing. Thanks to this dedication to the spirits, to give some examples, no? They have shown me how to travel to past lives through the shamanic realms in a super safe way, to change the way of doing lineage healing, you know, with my ancestors. And even the soul retrieval has changed, you know, through my spirits, and it's way more effective. And since, you know, we can always go in and come back with a piece, or even more than one, always. And that's, you know, that's very good. They took me to a place to heal conflicts related to sexuality, and they even showed me a grotto with where Mother Earth has her own altar. You know, they have allowed me to take people to heal in a very particular and amazing way with spirit animals. And even they have allowed me to help people to actually shapeshift and leave their humanity for you know, for a moment, which is amazing. They took me to an specific place to actually talk with people that are about to die, or to those that died long ago and who have not incarnated yet, and also they guide me to complete a process to be able to get a shamanic healing magical tattoo for a person based on their personal needs. As I say, they continue to expand my work in each experience, but this is only possible because I was open to let them guide me, and I still do. To me, shamanism, and as I say, it's my opinion and my understanding, is not A, B, or C. Okay, even although some practices can actually be structured, and I structured them. I structured some of them to be able to share them with others. But we cannot put shamanism in a box as a rigid concept, as something inert without fluidity and openness. But this is the shamanism that has been, you know, so to speak, commercialized for at least the last 30 years or so. among Westerners, and while those pioneers that brought us universal shamanism are praised and admired by many, they are also criticized by many others, especially by the more traditional sectors who call these new age shamanic practitioners plastic shamans, and that's a reality. We all know it, you know. But let's explore the concept of the shaman. So a shaman, or a medicine man or woman, is someone who is supposed to have the ability to move between different realities. So, according to this part of the definition, then anyone who learns to move through the shamanic realms or worlds can be called a shaman, since this quality is quite important. But a shaman is not only the one who travels in all the planes and communicates with what is invisible, nor does it make a shaman know healing techniques. But because of the commercialization and this type of schooling of the techniques, we now have shamans behind every corner. Something that to the most traditional seems unacceptable and is understandable, because it degrades in some way what is to have genuine medicine and what it means to have been chosen by the spirits. Because in the last and first instance, the true teachers are the spirits. You can actually learn from anyone the basic guide to enter the shamanic realms, but without the assistance of the spirits and a total redemption to the teachings of the invisible, you will not learn a lot, really, or grow or heal in any depth. But this is something characteristic of the New Age, where there are like thousands of techniques, and people go to courses or trainings and like going to scout meetings, and they are, they're going to get a badge, they go there and receive, they go to courses or workshops and receive information. Maybe they connect with something in them that has to heal, but in reality, there is not truly deep work, okay? Because, I have also studied different techniques, because I was, in a quest of looking for healing, and I know from my experience that there's nothing like shamanic work. People are putting color band-aids on their wounds, one on top of the other, course after course, therapy after therapy, but a true shaman is really going to leave the band aids and with a lot of pain, and it's the shaman that is going to remove the scab that covers the wound, and it will scratch until it is removed, and the shaman will open the wound and will look inside, and that hurts, and most people who dive into this new age current try to to avoid the pain. They want to get rid of the pain, but they also want to avoid it. And the idea of relieving the pain is not pink colored. It's a color of blood, and it smells like iron, and it hurts, and it has to hurt, because in my opinion, if it does not hurt, or there is no real connection to that pain, you cannot release it. And for me, that's the truth. The journey of a true medicine person, okay, is not easy, and the acquisition of medicine and knowledge is normally preceded by illness and spiritual death, is isolation and crisis, and is the spirits and the great spirit that helps you to get out from that hole. You learn to heal yourself, and you live again. But you're not the same person, but the medicine has awakened. You know, in that hole, in that vase, your vision changes, and it takes on another dimension, because in the darkness of that abyss, you have to learn to hunt for your own shadows. When you come to the surface after that experience, in the way you perceive the world has changed, because now you don't only see the shadows more clearly, but you also sense and smell the pain in others. And now you have tools that the spirits have give you to heal yourself, and you can use them to help others. So now I got a big question, okay? Do spirits touch only people who carry native blood? My answer for this question is no. Okay? They choose the person. And true medicine does not understand of ethnic exclusivities, and this is also that something that natives need to integrate. I think we all need to integrate these, when we talk about traditions, that is another story. They do belong to a certain group of people and are inherited by them. And inheritance is not filling your house with relics from other cultures like a museum, or having gone to ceremonies, or received a native name, or traditional teachings, or saying that you have met such or such person, nor bragging about them on social media. That is not respectful, or doesn't make you more legitimate to my eyes. There are a lot of gurus out there, and I actually never like the term guru. I walk for years and Amerindian tradition, and I gave to it all my heart, and I learned and I prayed a lot, but it was not mine. It was not my traditions. It was not my tradition. My spirits took me to my bones, and for years I myself did not understand my path, and that's true. I could not understand why the spirits had, the spirits had brought me to this particular path of the bones, and I walk it with respect and surrendering completely to the spirits. And I was often judged or misunderstood, not only because I'm a Western, but also because this is a man's world, and it's very hard to be a shaman woman, a shamaness, especially when you're a strong one. I remember my medicine man in the Lakota tradition. He even thought I was a yoka, which I am, but only partially. It's only part of me is a yoka. But the reality is that people fear what is different, and my work is so deep at times that it's scary for many. There are also those who fear the work of others for ego reasons, for fearing that their work will seem less next to yours, and for that silly reason, they don't know only criticize you, but also ban you or try to silence you. You have no idea how many of my posts disappear in virtual shamanic communities on Facebook. Magically, boop, they're gone. And I actually felt more respect from those who truly work with their spirits, or from those that were part of a tradition, that from most of Westerns. But at the end of the day, I have to follow my vision and follow my spirits, and I still do today, and I will continue to do so. So I follow the path of the bones. To me, that one that my spirits have shown me, a path that talks about my ancestors, and the ones that beat in every cell of my body from 4 different continents. I am a child of this earth, a cup that unites many bloods, and I hold them with honor, for my medicine comes from it. And I am, at the end of the day, I am a Wasera. I am one that whispers to the bones of those who seek for me. Because ultimately, you have to follow your personal vision, not that of another person, not that of a group of people. Many medicine men and women turned away from their group's global vision and left pursuing a personal vision, or the signs from the spirits. There were rites where you will literally cry for a vision or a dream in the solitude of the mountain, in connection with the spirits and the Great Spirit, what the Lakota people call the Ablanche Yapi, and which includes fasting, prayers, purifications, among different things. Many people who delve into visionary traditions do so thinking that these are the only ones that include the intake of some ancient medicine and ignore others. That, in my opinion, actually requires more commitment and sacrifice than paying £100 to go to an ayahuasca ceremony. But as I said before, there are many people who choose the easy way. And I'm not saying that Grandmother Aya is easy. She has shown me in different occasions, how hard she can be. But there are too many people who approach visionary plants from the wrong, from the wrong place. Because before approaching a master plant for a vision, you should be able to get one without them. And there is not only one way to get a vision. There are many, and contrary to what people think, not all are based on taking a substance with psychedelic properties. For me, I began to see from childhood during dreams, walking between realities. Dream time is a door that many can open, even if not everybody is a dream walker. We can ask for a vision. There are many ways to enter an altered state of consciousness. We know that the sound of the drum at a certain speed help us to enter. For a reason, it's called the shaman's horse, the drum. I remember an Olowampy many years ago, where the sound of the great drum kept me in trance during the entire ceremony between the planes. I could see my peers, but also I could see the spirits who came to the call of the medicine songs, and it was amazing. But of course, not only the drum takes you, to these altered states of consciousness. I remember, during the Sundance, because of a vision I received from the spirits, and it was interpreted by my medicine man and the head of the Sundance Council. I, like the man who danced, I was to blow an eagle whistle. And when you dance in the sun, it is not only fasting and water deprivation, that brings you to an altered state of consciousness. It is also that you are taking part in a great ritual. It is the most important ritual for the Lakota people. And you are in a sacred place. You're dancing and you're praying and you're singing sacred songs and you're open to the spirits. And the circle of the dance is wahang, is sacred. And if you're also blowing the eagle whistle, you are, on top of all of that, you are breathing very fast. And this also kinds of transports you to other planes or realities. You can find a vision also in the solitude of a mountain or a cave. Sometimes the visions have reached me inside of the Inipi, in the sweat lodge, in the Lakota sweat lodge. Between prayers and songs. Other times they have arrived without a warning, without asking for them. I remember one time I went to just wash my face, and when I raised my eyes, I was no longer in this reality, and for a few seconds I fell through space-time in my bathroom doing something absolutely common, like is to pour water on your face. And of course, there are people who are visionaries by nature, but you can also approach visionary practices and just, as other people actually learn different, many other practices, a person who seeks for a vision and works hard for it, over time will also get one. And when you can access a vision by other means, the work with master plants is different. For me, I rather take people to work with me, to find their shadows, and then, once they found the shadows, and they had their visions, then they have actually something to give to the spirit plants. In the last 15 years, I have seen people approaching master plants like a plague. I mean, like completely like a plague. Also, other people that seeing the economic benefit of sharing these ceremonies decide that they want to become a medicine plant shaman, or they decide that they have the power to share the plant, and sadly, very often they do this without a base or a traditional understanding of the plant medicine, or the spirit of the plant they're working with. Just like the spirits chose you, the spirit of a plant has to call on you. And I don't mean that it's going to pick up the phone, and that the call of a plant occurs when you have seen an event on Facebook, or that your friend is going to a ceremony and you decide to join. I could really talk at length about how the medicine of different plants are being abused, or spiritual bypassing. That's actually one of my favorite subjects. But no, but I won't, because this could, that is the subject for another talk. But I am going to say very clearly that medicine is sought when there is illness, not for egoistic cravings, and not to write down one more experience in your notebook, or to try things out because they are fashionable. If you're not sick, do not look for them. It is lack of respect for the medicine of a plant to do so. I'm always going to say that you don't have to actually go to the jungle to heal yourself. Mother Earth gave us many medicines, and each place has its own. I don't believe that going to drink ayahuasca in Peru will heal you more than a mushroom ceremony done properly in the forest behind your house. I won't. But even there are different kinds of medicine. What I would like to say is that the vision is brought by the connection, and that connection has to be genuine, and it can be found in many ways, but only if your approach to shamanic practices is genuine. You need to respect tradition and surrender to spirits if you're ready for it. It's not a must to enter this door. It's not a must to approach shamanism. You don't have to. And you shouldn't do it lightly, thinking that shamanism is what you read online or in books. Even there are really good books out there. Nothing prepares you for the redemption to this path. I continue learning from my spirits every single day, and I also share when they allow me to do so, including what they have personally taught me, with their permission. I continue to scan the shadows, mine and others, trying to help in some way by sharing my personal vision that is actually closer to, to that black hole, to that abyss, that to the glitter that is marketed out there. And maybe that's why I'm not commercial. Maybe maybe because of that, me not actually being afraid of showing myself as what I am. I'm a shadow hunter, and that doesn't sell. I don't really know what the future of shamanism is, but I do hope that somehow moves away from what we are seeing today, from the posters, from the fashionable stream, from everything that has degraded shamanic practices to the point that we have lost seriousness and turned sacred medicines into tripping drugs provided by any dealer. I would like to see a return to the bones, to the ancestral connection, and to those first shamans and sorcerers and who open up the invisible to bring healing and magic for the people. I would like to see a return to the genuine, wherever it comes from, with respect and without judgment. I would like to see my daughter take my medicine when I'm tired, and she's 5 and she already joins me on the drumming and singing medicine songs, that my spirits have given to me, and she loves smudging. That's one of her favorite parts. Yeah, every time she sees the smudging going on, she wants to be the one smudging everybody, and or the house. When I'm smudging my house and I'm clearing my house, at the end I have to give her whatever I'm using to clear the space because she wants to do it. But be that as it may, just try walking barefoot wherever you are. That's always a good beginning. I hope you somehow have enjoyed the talk. Thank you.